Hi, I'm Cantina Lee. Let's talk Stephen King. Grab a beverage, preferably coffee, and let's talk about our favorite Stephen King movies and things. Let's start off with the movies. My favorite movies consist of Cat's Eye with Drew Barrymore as a little girl and little stories about a cat trying to save her. The one thing I love about Stephen King, he takes the most simple idea and turns it into something big. Okay, my number two is The Dark Tower. Yes, I know this will be uh, iffy on for a lot of people, but if you're one of those people who read the books and the stories and you love the series, well, it's going to be up there because it's taken a lot. I mean, the movie is just a minuscule portion of what is there. My number three pick would be Misery. Everyone loved Kathy Bates and James Caan. Then we have The Dark Half. Now, we move on to a more pressing one. Green Mile is my number five. It is a great movie. So good. Very emotional. Gotta love Tom Hanks and John Coffey. Oh, everyone loves John Coffey. Silver Bullet is my number six. We have a young Corey Haim fighting off the evil werewolves. Well, one particularly. And then number seven is Dreamcatcher. A lot of people may not like it. It has some moments. It's one of my favorites. Mostly, I love the Memory Warehouse option and the storyline that it's just great. Cast is a great thing. It is just wonderful. Um, Number eight, everyone's favorite, Stand By Me. And then number nine, one of my favorites because I read the book and enjoyed it. And who cannot love Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Running Man? Okay, then we have number 10. Basically, not a favorite for most people, but I really enjoyed it. Would be Maximum Overdrive. There are so many movies out there by Stephen King and so many books and just so many things. And they're all great. Now we move on to books. My favorite Stephen King books. There is a lot. Number one, my absolute favorite in all things, The Stand. Stu Redman is one of my favorite male characters. He's on that list of, that perfect male in literature, of course. Well, yeah, it's a great cast in the movie or the miniseries, but the book is just so much more in depth and wonderful. Yes, Stephen King has a tendency to do that thing everyone seems to put up with, but love nevertheless. Going off on a tangent, talking about a little bit of everything, and then getting back to the subject eventually. But we always enjoy the wild ride he takes us on, so it's just part of the fun. My number two, and again, Dark Tower. Dark Tower series, Gunslinger series, however you want to look at it. So many books, so much time, but so wonderful and worth it. If you've never checked it out, I definitely say give it a shot. Then, of course, we again have Misery. Certain things are just great and wonderful no matter how many times you read them. For me, mostly it's The Stand. We read it many times. Misery is just, you feel for him so much, but you love the triumph of it all. Sorry. If you get used to me, you'll learn I am a klutz. I will knock something over without a second thought. But I could stop now, but I'd rather just keep going. It's painful enough. My first video, guys. Work with me. Okay. Green Mile. If you're like me, when the Green Mile came out, they came out with these very little small books. There was a bunch of them, and I ended up having to get every single one and reading them and just getting so engrossed into the whole story. Like I said, you love John Coffey. He's just a wonderful character. Next would be Cycle of the Werewolf, which, if you did not know, is Silver Bullet, the original written form. My choices in books are going to be totally different than yours. I know your choices are going to be completely different. It's mostly about what a certain person enjoys and what they want to enjoy at that particular time. I go through phases. It's a thing. Next would be Dreamcatcher. I know. Same ones. I can't help it. I like what I like. My favorites are just what they are. Then again, Running Man. Then we have Under the Dome. The book and the TV show are totally different. There's no comparison really, but both were at the time. The next one, well, my number 9 is Eye of the Dragon. I really enjoyed it. I plan to try to talk my son into reading it if I can ever get him to. We shall see. Picking favorite books when it comes to Stephen King is it's kind of an iffy thing. I mean, I sat through the list, and I mean, there's just so many other ones you want to put there, but then you don't. But then you know what you like. That's just how it is. Next, it would have been, it's basically Gerald's Game. It's a lot not to like with that one, but it was just an enjoyable read. I don't know why. Not much I can say about that. It's just the way it is. With the miniseries, it became a little harder. Mostly because there's only so many. I have 8 on this list. Some of them repeats because it cannot be helped because they have been remade. And of course, top of the list, The Stand. Now, a lot of people would say the best one is the new one. No. Not for my opinion. I love the original Stand. The one with Gary Sinise, Molly Ringwald, Ruby Dee. I mean, it has so much of the story in there. And that's just the way it should be. It's just so good. There was still a lot missing, but it was a very, very in-depth story. Number 2 would be Rose Red. I liked the miniseries. I enjoyed it. And it kind of reminded me of the Winchester House, but it's totally different in its own way. And of course, the Diary of Ellen Rimbauer comes right behind it. At number 3. Number 4 is The Stand again, the new version. Love their choice for Randall Flagg and the other characters, but still, I hold firm on the original. Then we have number 5, the old version of It. Now, I know a lot of people will argue that point, but some things I kind of prefer sometimes when they don't go as graphic as they can. I mean, the old heartfelt stuff, just, yeah, I'm a softie. Lacey's story I thought was pretty good. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but that's what I picked for number 6. And the new It would be 7. Long, more graphic, and obviously it's not as much as the book, thank goodness. But yeah. And number 8, I put Needful Things because it's just good. So many things good about it, but bad at the same time. But good story. Okay, now TV shows. I have 5. I just have what I like. Number 1, Under the Dome. I like the story. I like Barbie. I like the characters and cast of the show. And as far as TV shows go, generally it's pretty good. Number 2 was Haven. Lots of different things to be solved. I like that storyline. Number 3 is Kingdom Hospital. Gotta love that anteater. It's kind of painful, the thought of Stephen King reliving his own accident while writing it a bit, but that is a lot. But it was, try to separate the two. He had to. Oh boy. Next, Castle Rock, and then The Dead Zone, because I think I'm getting a little lengthy. Now, I want to do a quick list of my choices for Stephen King cameos in his own movies, mostly. Number 1, in The Stand. He's a part of the story. He is a part of the cast. The original, of course, The Stand. And it's awesome. Second would be Creepshow. Looking down at my notes, so you know. He was pretty fun. Number 3, Maximum Overdrive. Gotta love him giving himself a character that calls himself an a-hole. Number 4 is repeating self on Sleepwalkers. And then number 5, The Simpsons, of course. Not one of his, but still enjoyable. And other people cameo that I loved, not Stephen King, but on a Stephen King show. That would be Sam Raimi. Sorry. Sam Raimi on The Stand as one of the guys to go get the judge. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It's worth it. And that is my list. I hope you enjoy it. Hope it gives you an idea of something you want to check out. This was my first video. Now I'm going to go post it before I change my mind because this is so annoying. But try to be kind. Movies is something I love and enjoy and seem to know a lot about. So give me your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Anything. Let me know your favorites. Tell me what you like. And Cantina Lee starts with a K instead of a C. Mexican bar, K instead of a C, and an LE. Like, follow, comment, all the things. Let me know if you want me to discuss some another video.